Hello, I hope you're doing well. My name is Max. I'm thinking of doing a reading. Actually, when I turned on my phone or turned on my computer to do this video, I actually didn't know who I was going to do a reading on. I have like a lot of different ideas of who to do readings on, and then it just occurred to me to maybe do one on Timothee Chalamet. That's like one of like four different options I was thinking of right now. Um, So maybe I'll do one on Timothy Chalamet, and we'll see if you guys like it or not. So he's kind of a curious character. Uh, he's a good-looking dude, and it seems like he seems like he's pushed like into films. Like he doesn't. It just seems like inorganic. Like when I see him, like I saw him in Dune, like the Dune movies, and like whenever he said something. He delivered a line, like a big line or something, the director would cut to the back of his head instead of showing his face when he's delivering and just showing his face and his eyes and his expression as he's delivering the lines. The director would cut, and maybe it's the editor, but they would cut from his face and they'd cut to the back of his head, or they'd show someone else or something else, but they'd always cut away whenever he had to make a statement, whenever he delivered a line. So I thought that was really curious. Like, why would you do that? And then you look at photos of him like on his Instagram and stuff, um, and I haven't seen all of them. I don't have Instagram. Just what you can see without signing in. Like he doesn't seem to have like a charisma, so to speak. And I'm not saying that means I don't like him. I'm just saying like he doesn't seem to have that star quality, but he keeps getting roles, and one curious thing is he had that Chanel contract like for over $35 million for a photo shoot. $35 million for a photo shoot, and he's not really a big name. They're trying to make him a big name, but it's not like for instance, like Johnny Depp. Yeah, he's a little older now, Johnny Depp, but like he was like a real star. So it's like, and so in Johnny Depp, he had a contract with Dior, Dior fragrance, and I think he did Dior or Sauvage. But anyway, he had a comparable contract with a cosmetics company for a men's cologne or a men's perfume, and so this men's fragrance that Johnny Depp, that contract was 25 million. That was 25 million for Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp, he has been in every single good movie out there. He's been in it. He has like a real charisma, real presence. He has a real value. Like people seek him out. At least they did, in his prime. I guess I'm saying, like, if you know what a real star is, if you've been around a real star, if you've seen a real star, if you've seen their movies, you've seen the way they perform, you can see a real star. It's like self-evident. There's not really a debate. The camera loves them. They're expressive. They're charismatic. They're interesting. They're compelling. And I don't see that in Timothy Chalamet. I'm not trying to like be mean. I'm just being honest as a person who goes to see movies and loves the cinema. He doesn't seem to have charisma, and he doesn't seem to have that presence or that anything. Like I said, the director's cut away when he talks. Like he's cast as the lead in a film, and then the director cuts away when he delivers his lines. So something's off, and like there's something inorganic about his career growth. Like he seems to get more roles than it would be normal, considering the reactions. Like his stardom isn't like, there's not like a real energy around him. There's not really a real energy. Like he's always on SNL all the time. Like it's just abnormal. It's just like, it just seems like it's being pushed. You know what I mean? And also, he seems to get a lot of awards. Like, just Google his name at random every once in a while. He's getting some award just for not even doing anything. Just who knows why? He's just getting an award. He's like, people are around him celebrating him. And I know I sound kind of bitter, but yeah, I could use $35 million for a photo shoot. Like that'd be great. But I'm not bitter. I know I sound bitter. I just mean like as someone who likes art and I love musicians and I love actors and I love the cinema. I see him and I'm not interested. Like the only thing that's interesting or compelling about him is that he's got the role. Like he really, like he doesn't have a real presence, a real charisma, a real energy, and so yet he keeps getting these roles and he gets getting these awards and I mean getting this massive contract. So he got a contract for 35 million. Johnny Depp, who's a real star, right? Really, who has looks and charisma and energy and talent. That's one word I don't think I mentioned, talent. And when he talks in a movie, the director zooms in. The director wants to see his face because the director wants us to see this guy's face when he talks because he's so compelling, because he's so powerful, because he's so interesting, because he's so talented in his as an actor. And Timothee Chalamet, they don't do that. They cut away when he talks. But so Johnny Depp, he's a real star, right? So he's been in real movies. He has to audition and he gets the role, and he's not just given roles. At least in the beginning, right? And he's a real star. His movies are huge. I mean, when he stars in a movie, it's it's going to be good. He's going to be a draw. And he's not just some incidental fact of a movie like this. Oh, this is the cast, by the way. Oh, Johnny Depp. Who's that? Who cares? It's never like that. Johnny Depp. He's a draw. Like you want to see Johnny Depp work, kind of like you want to see Leonardo DiCaprio. You want to see him work. You want to see what he does. You don't even care what the movie's about. If it has Leonardo DiCaprio in it, you want to see it. Because he's interesting. He's interesting to watch, and he's good at what he does. Leo, man, that's another star, right? That's like a real star, right? So Johnny Depp, he gets 25 million for a cosmetics contract for a photo shoot, or maybe even a series of photo shoots and films and things like that. 25 million. Timothee Chalamet does the same thing, photo shoot, short films, ads, things like that. He gets 35 million. So, I mean, it's almost. I'm not. It's not exact, but it's like almost half. It's like it's $10 million more. $10 million more for the same thing, and so you think $10 million more. Okay, so what is the math on that? I don't even know. I don't want to think about it right now. I'm an intuitive, not a mathematician, but 10 million is like almost half of 25 million, right? So like 12.5 million would be half of 25 million. All right. So 10 million is basically half, just about half of 25 million. So Timothée Chalamet was paid 50% more, roughly. Maybe you'd say 40% more for doing the same thing. And does that make sense? I mean, if you put him on a scale, if you put Timothée Chalamet's career to that date on a scale, and you put Johnny Depp's career on a scale, which would weigh more? Who grossed more? Who had more fans? Who sold more tickets? Who was a bigger draw? Who was more prominent in society and in Hollywood and in cinema and in the cultural sphere? There'd be no debate that Johnny Depp had more to offer as a whatever it is, as in a contract for a cosmetics company. There's no doubt Johnny Depp had more value to offer. His name was bigger, so therefore Johnny Depp should be worth more. Sorry, I was about to sneeze there. But anyway, so I'm going to stop rambling here. Let's just see what's going on with Timothée Chalamet. This is just a general reading. I do know there's some things in his past that are weird, that are really kind of goofy. And maybe I'll look into that sometime. But I don't think Timothée Chalamet is in any way related to it. Other than, again, I don't think he knew about this, but I think he benefited from it. So what I'm referring to is the Chanel contract. When Timothée Chalamet got the Chanel contract, he got it because the guy who had the Chanel contract before him, a French actor, he died mysteriously and suddenly on a ski slope, and no one could figure out why he died. But you'll see that's a recurring motif as you look into assassinations and things. They happen on ski slopes a lot of times. Which is truly bizarre. Um, so this guy died on a ski slope very mysteriously. He didn't bump into anybody. He didn't have a collision with anything. He just died on a ski slope. He just collapsed. And who steps in to replace him? Timothée Chalamet. And then of course Timothée Chalamet. And he gets this huge contract that far exceeded anything anyone's ever got before. Any man, especially for cosmetics. And then he's getting all these awards. He's getting these roles, and he just doesn't. He's not that great. He's not that great. I mean, he's probably a nice guy. He's a good-looking dude, but most people, I mean, compared to who, I mean, you've compared him like Johnny Depp, like when he was that age, like Johnny Depp had a real look, like a real look. You're like, holy crap, when you saw Johnny Depp, it was a real look, like he had a movie star look. Chalamet, he looks like he's a good-looking guy, but he doesn't look abnormally. He doesn't stand out. Like he's just some dude. You look at him and he doesn't look. He doesn't have any unique facial aspects that would say, "Wow, this guy's made for the camera." I mean, he's just a normal. He's very conventionally good-looking. He's not like star good-looking like Johnny Depp or even Brad Pitt. If you think of Brad Pitt, like they have a unique look. They look like a star. So anyway, there was a mysterious thing that happened with Chanel. But so anyway, this guy doesn't have charisma, but he gets a lot of work. Let's just see what's going on. Just a general reading. I don't want to I don't think he's guilty of any crimes or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But let's just see. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do a 10-card spread. Celtic Cross. There we go. Timothée Chalamet. Here we go. This is for Timothée Chalamet. Ace of Pentacles reversed. Three of Cups reversed. The Hermit upright. Ace of Swords reversed. Three of Swords reversed. Queen of Wands reversed. The Chariot reversed. Nine of Wands reversed. The Emperor reversed. Two of Cups reversed. Okay, let's begin. So this is for Timothée Chalamet. It's just a general reading. So we have the Ace of Ace of Pentacles reversed. Um, uh, so this is like a missed opportunity. This is like a going back to get money. This is like going back. It's like uh, it's kind of like you. I wouldn't say he needs money. This is like if you get this, that means you missed an opportunity or you need to go back and get it or ask for it or request it or grab it. There's something about it where it's not being given to you. Um, so this I'm not sure how that would pertain to this reading. So I'm thinking maybe this is this also is a card of bliss. It's like kind of like a card of ecstasy, or uh, it can be a card of pleasure. And this kind of indicates a lack of pleasure, which is interesting. This is what's covering him right now. And by the way, this is the center card, so this is what's covering him. So this could be a lack of pleasure, a lack of bliss. Um, it's an element of unhappiness. I don't think this. It doesn't indicate material need. It indicates maybe something was missed, something was overlooked, an opportunity came by and he missed it, or um, he's actively looking for it, or he wants to reclaim it. Um, this is kind of like a he's looking for an opportunity. He's something passed him by, and he's turning around, going, "I want that." So in a way, this card is kind of like a card of like desire. You're trying to get something, and it could be related to money or pleasure. There's something that he feels he doesn't have, or like there's like a contract that he missed, um, or like he lost, or somebody got it instead of him, and he wants it. So this is like a card of want. You're looking eagerly to find. Um, it's kind of like a card of actively searching and pursuing something. Probably having to do with wealth, but it could also be some sort of pleasure, which wealth could obviously can give you pleasure. Um, this is typically a wealth card. It's a card of gold, so he's looking for gold. He's looking for wealth. He's looking for an opportunity, and whether it's coming towards him or it went by him, he's actively chasing it, like pursuing it. So he's trying to find. He's looking for wealth. He's trying to find. He's actively searching for it. Um, he's so this would be what covers him. So this is like his predominant motivation right now is he's searching for opportunities, typically for a career. Okay. So what's crossing? The crossing energy is a Three of Cups reversed. So this is like a cliquey energy. This is like the energy of a group of people, and they don't want to let you in. This is like being excluded or being talked about in a negative way. So this is like a clique or a group that doesn't want to let you in. Who this would be, I do not know. He seems to have, he has a considerable backing by some, serious money. That there's people that really are pushing him in our faces. They're getting him work and giving him awards and giving him contracts. But there's probably a faction that maybe there's people like me going, dude, the camera doesn't like this guy. Like, what? Why are you telling me to cast this guy? He's not that great. Maybe there's people like that, people like me, people that have an aesthetic eye, people that have a critical, aesthetic outlook. They can kind of look at things and go, that doesn't look good. Like, I'm sorry, like that doesn't look good. So maybe there's people like that are like, hey, they're like, maybe there's people that are like, hey, Timothy, do something else, man. You're not that great. You're not that great. I don't want him in my film, or I don't want him in my TV show, or he's not that great. I'm not going to give him an award. I don't think did better than this guy. Or there's an energy here. There's people out there that kind of maybe think how I think, that they're not on board. They don't think this guy's like the greatest thing in the world. He's not the greatest actor in the world. He didn't deserve $35 million for a photo shoot for Chanel. You know, so there's a clique here. There's a group. They may not be all powerful, but he's dealing with this group, and this group is saying we're good. We don't really need you. You know, you're good, but you're not that great. You're not better than this guy over here. You're not, you know, and the camera doesn't love you. We've seen Dune. We've seen that, you know, we've seen your movies, and the camera always cuts away whenever you talk. We think that's shady. We don't think that's movie stars should have the camera cut away whenever they deliver a line. So we're gonna skip. We're gonna pass on you. So this is kind of like a clique, okay? That is not letting him in, or is working against him, or saying something about him, like something critical or unflattering about him. So in the crowning position, we have the nine of this is a hermit, number 9, the hermit. The hermit is knowledge. It's also being, you know, excluded in a way. It's kind of like being alone. This is his crowning energy. So this is like his like mental energy. What's crowning him would indicate his thoughts. So in this case, I see this as like maybe isolation, being alone. It's also a kind of a card of like hidden knowledge. Like he knows things, or he knows people who know things, significant things, not like, you know, chit chat, but like real things. This is like, you know, deep knowledge. It's also like you know, kind of like what I've been talking about. It's kind of like to me, when I see this card, the Hermit, I kind of think of, it kind of evokes people lurking, like secret agents or spies, in like skullduggery, like corruption, like politicians making a secret deal with a company or something, or some faction. Um, so when I see this, I kind of think of, I'm going back to like the Chanel deal, and how that he replaced the guy who was murdered on the ski slope. And they don't say he was murdered. It's my opinion. In my opinion, this guy was murdered. Um, um, I can't see any way around it, but that's just my opinion. I don't have any evidence, or it's just my own intuition. But this card says, I know stuff, I know people, and I'm I'm kind of working for people, or I'm working with the knowledge that these people are helping me, that they're putting me in these places of opportunity. So this could be secret organizations. So that's what I'm getting at in a long, rambling way. This is like secret organizations. They could be legitimate, non-secret organizations, but they're working in a secret way. There's things behind the scenes that people do not know about that these companies are doing. So like this could represent Chanel, or the people that own Chanel, the people behind Chanel, the people that coerce Chanel to sign Timothee Chalamet. It sort of indicates secret groups that have secret knowledge, that are not upfront about what they're doing, and what they're doing is would typically be, not ethically aligned. Would be, they'd be involved in things that are not ethical, not legal. That's kind of what I'm getting here. I'm getting a lot with this. But this is what's crowning him. Okay, so there's secret groups. I can see a sense of possible isolation. Also, this could indicate he's smart in a worldly way. Or just like I said earlier, like he knows people that know things. He doesn't know things necessarily, but he knows people that do. And so he's being helped by these groups. I see this, he's aware of this. This is would indicate he's aware that there's people helping him, and they're not working for him. He's working for them. Okay. And so this kind of would indicate, in a way, a kind of a burden, because he knows he's not really in control. He's got to work for these guys, and he's kind of in debt to them at a certain level because they're helping him, and he may not know all the reasons why they're helping him. So it's kind of like this burden, right? He's digging it. It's cool, but he doesn't know exactly what's going on. He's definitely not the captain of the ship here. but he knows people who are the captain, or he knows people who know the captain. He may not know the captain, honestly, but so this indicates a heaviness of this knowledge, and it could just be. I'm not saying he knows this knowledge, but he knows the people that have the knowledge, and he knows enough to know that he's not in control. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Okay. Recent past, we have the Ace of Swords reversed. Um, this is like, this could be an attack. This could be violence. This is a very strong energy. It's a very strong energy. I'm feeling a very strong energy. This is his recent past, and this is like a no or an attack or it's like some sort of it's like some sort of strong idea or communication or act. It's this is an act of like stopping or revising or pushing against or it's like it's a strong kind of like revisionary or even adversarial energy, but it's a very strong energy, a very strong communication um, against someone or something. So this could obviously indicate um, hmm I mean, in any way, this could indicate, on a less significant level, this could indicate a revised contract. It could also indicate um, it's a strong energy, though. It's not. This would be, to me, this signifies more than just you got a contract to be in a movie or something like that. It feels heavier than that. Feels heavier, but it could just be this. This could be just a legal contract and it's just a run of the mill type situation where you were cast in a role and you're going to get and now you're just working out the legal details of this of what you're going to get paid, what your obligations will be, and what you will be compensated with. So this could be legal contracts, but this also could be something heavier than that, something deeper than that. But in any case, it's a revision of ideas, and it's like a strong energy of revision. Um, I'm just seeing like kind of like no or a critique or a let's change this. I don't like this. No, kind of like I'm not agreeing to that. Like sorry, that type of energy. Um, um, I'm just feeling a strong no energy. Um, in the deep past, we have Three of Swords reversed. So that means healing. This means something heavy happened, and he didn't like it. It wasn't good, um, but he's healing from it. Um, like something upset him. Something. This is deep past, so this has been long running. This is the root card of this spread. So this is like long term energies. So this is the energy. This is a past life energy, and this is also long term this life. So this is something that's been running for a long time. This energy. So this is healing. It's healing. It's a process of healing. It's coming from a place of pain or a place of loss, a place of disappointment or heartbreak, and you're coming from that and you're recovering from that. So um, um, I think this probably indicates maybe for him maybe a sad disposition, like he's sad maybe, um, which gives me no pleasure in saying that. I don't want anyone to be sad. Um, I see like almost like a sadness, like a regret or something, like something's like an emptiness or something. Like it's like I'm coming from a place emotionally that's negative or empty. Like there's nothing nourishing about the thoughts here. There's like the thoughts are not nourishing. That's kind of what I'm getting. He's coming from a place um, like that's like emotionally destitute. There's some sort of emotional bankruptcy or emotional destitution or desolation. There's some sort of that's kind of what I'm getting here is like this emotional desolation. Like cops, sometimes they'll say like, or they hear it's kind of like a stereotype, and that after they've seen so many crimes or they've seen crimes of such magnitude or severity that they kind of get numb from it, and then they go to like their families break up, their wives divorce them, and they start using drugs and alcohol. It's kind of like a desolation like that, where like you're exposed to something um, and it doesn't do you any good. It's just it's in your mind now. Now it's in your mind, and then you can't get it out of your mind, and it's not doing you any good. It's not serving you in any way, and all it is now is a burden to you. Once you've seen whatever it is, you've seen someone get murdered, or you've seen someone get hurt, or you've seen these people fight, something like that, or like bad memories you've had, like if your parents were mean or something, and or you've witnessed some sort of cruelty or violence, and you know you weren't for it or against it necessarily, but it's just the residue of it is that it subtracts from your life. It subtracts from your enjoyment of life, even if it's something you did or something you condoned. Like you were in on it. So it doesn't mean that you necessarily disagreed with something that you saw, but you saw it and it was awful, and you're not benefiting from it. And so I just see some sort of desolation here, some sort of cruelty or heartbreak, and he's moving forward from that point, and so I think that's leaving him a little bit like I don't know. Maybe, I think saying numb is like I'm overstating it when I say numbness. I don't think that's the right word, but something like that, where the life or the feeling or the tenderness or the joy is not there, and you can't find it. Um, I don't think this is terminal. I don't think that I'm probably overstating things a little bit here. This simply means you're healing from a disappointment. That's kind of what it means. But when I see it in the deep past like that, I think it's got to have a little more magnitude. And I do feel like intuitively as I hold this card I just see how he behaves, and I do see like there's kind of like there isn't a lightness. It's not light. There's not a light energy there, and I think some of it is just I think he's awkward in front of the camera. I don't think he's feel comfortable in front of the camera. I don't think he likes the camera, like an actor should like the camera. But I do see like a heaviness there, and I don't think it's uh, necessarily maturity or wisdom. I think there's something heavy in his past, or if he's seen something, and like I said, I don't think he necessarily is against it or he didn't like it. It was just something that if it's your idea to do it, it's like it's not gonna help you in the long run. So I'm not saying he was a victim of something. It could be I'm not saying one way or the other. I don't know, but I'm saying like people who have PTSD, for instance. I mean, they're people that you know it's like if you go to attack somebody, you yourself can suffer from that as well as the victim. You have that in your mind as well, just like the victim does. You have a different perspective, but you experienced it, and it's traumatic for you too. It's not just traumatic for the victim; it's also traumatic for the perpetrator. And so that's what I see here. I don't see him as necessarily a victim, but and I'm not saying he's a perpetrator. I'm saying it could be either. It could be both. But I'm saying if you're a perpetrator, you can still be the victim traumatically from a perspective of psychological trauma. It's real. Like so like the guys coming home from Iraq and war and stuff like that. I mean, they weren't wounded. I mean, these guys that have PTSD, they're not reliving what happened to them. They're reliving what they did to someone else. You know what I mean? They're reliving what they did to someone else when they accidentally killed civilians or something, or they, you know what I'm saying? So this doesn't mean innocence, but it means some sort of trauma. So in the near future, we have the Queen of Wands reverse. This is like a controlling woman. Um, so he is. I think he's. I don't even know if he's dating her anymore. Honestly, I mean, I can do a reading on that. Like a Kylie Jenner, is that her name? Kylie. So that's the girl he's supposedly dating. I don't know. I don't know if they really are. It seems like maybe it's one of those things that are just kind of arranged. But this is kind of like a pushy person, a pushy woman. She's bossy, needy, jealous. Uh, it's kind of like the energy of when I did Meghan Markle. When I did Harry's Prince Harry's reading, and this was like Meghan. This represented Meghan Markle. So this could be Kylie Jenner or somebody's bossy in his near future. Is somebody who's bossy or jealous or um, kind of like controlling or critical or needy in some way. I see like a jealous energy or a needy energy. She wants to be around him, or it's not necessarily an affection. It's like a bossiness and a criticalness and a jealousy. Like, where were you? Why weren't you here? Why didn't you call me? Why aren't you responding to this text? That type of thing. Okay. So so this is him. This card would represent his position in the spread. This is like him, his career, how he operates in society, how he is perceived. So this is him. This is his card. This is the Chariot in reverse. So this is like I see like attack. This usually when I see this reverse, but also it means lack of control. Normally, uprighted chariot is a card of material control of the material plane. This is kind of like lack of control, lack of direction. Um, this is kind of like maybe a chaotic energy, it's not a controlled energy. Um, um, this is not a great energy to have. If this represents you, I mean, this represents a powerful card. This is a powerful card, but it's when it's reversed like this, it just kind of indicates you're out of your power, and you're acting wrongly in some way. You're acting wrongly. You could be it could be unethical, or it could be aggressive in some way. There's some sort of aggression in this card. But it kind of indicates your energies are not harmonized, and they're not in control. They're not coordinated. So this is a card of lack of control, and also, like I said, aggression. This is like an aggressive energy. So this is a very energetic card. It's a very, very energetic card, um, and it's a card of warfare. But when it's reversed, it's like the energy is not coordinated, not controlled, not directed in the proper way. So this is like a reckless energy, an attacking energy, an aggressive energy, kind of like a hostile energy, and it's not productive. It's kind of destructive. That's kind of what I'm getting here. This is his card. So this is typically like a prince, right? He's like a prince. Um, Typically the card is represented as a prince in a chariot, and it's a very powerful card. So and this would indicate his power. But I think right now he's in a bad mood or something. There's something discordant about his energies, and he's aggressive and hostile, and he's in a bad mood, and he's possibly to someone around him, whether it's a coworker, an underling, an assistant, a girlfriend. They may be like in danger, you know, in a light way, like you know, he's throwing a tantrum, that type of thing. You're around him, and he has money, infinite money. You don't. He can do what he wants. You can't. Um, and he's pissed, and you got to just deal with it. So that's what I mean by danger. I'm not saying he's going to murder you or anything, but this is a reckless energy. When you're young and you're a man, you're going to have days like this for sure. I mean, for sure. But the problem is he can if he makes a mistake, no one's going to step in and go, dude, you blew it. No one's going to say that. That's the problem when you just have infinite wealth or infinite help. You have infinite backup. You have multinational companies, multi-billion-dollar companies backing you, and then being impulsive, being aggressive, being emotionally unstable, then it becomes a problem because then you can do it with impunity. You can act with impunity, and there's no fear of retribution. There's no fear of ever having to pay for your problem, pay for your crimes or whatever it is. Obviously, I'm not indicating he's committing a crime, but this is just a chaotic energy, and you don't really want it from somebody who has $35 million in their back pocket. And that's just from one contract. So he probably has three times that. So not a great energy. It's a reckless, dangerous, attacking energy that's discordant, not healthy. So in his environment, we have the Nine of Wands reversed. I am really curious about this one. This is the people around him. This is like his environment. This represents his house, the environment around him, the people around him, what's happening around him. So this is the way he manifests in his environment. So I see this as the Nine of Wands is like it's almost like capitulation. It's like because normally Nine of Wands is like they're standing firm. They're not having fun, but they're standing firm, and they'll probably win in the long run if they just stand firm. But they're like emotionally exhausted and they're not doing well. But they're gonna, if they, it's a card of determination in a certain sense, a card of like withstanding. But so when it's reversed like this, I'm seeing like I said, a capitulation or a collapse of. I don't know, like a collapse of that will. Who does that know? So I'm just wondering if what this refers to. This is like his environment. Um, so it's a Nine of Wands reversed. So I see just like what is that? There's a word I'm looking for that um anyway, this is like like your perseverance is collapsing, like your wherewithal is collapsing. Um this indicates like a lack of power. Are you feeling like a lack of power? Um this is what I'm getting here. This is like you're feeling like you don't feel strong, like you don't feel strong, and your determination is not there. um so I don't, this card is adjacent to the Kylie Jenner card, and the Kylie Jenner is very, like I said, it's a very bossy card. I don't know if this is just referring to what she's doing to him, like she's kind of bossing him around, hounding him, harassing him. He feels like this is like a card of like you're not liking it. You don't feel strong. You don't feel confident in what you're doing. It's a card of like kind of like a collapse. I know that's like a strong word, but and I'm not sure exactly what this card means in the scheme of things. The only clue is, like I said, is the cards that are around it, and I see him as very aggressive and disordered energy, and then his girlfriend, or I think it's his girlfriend still. I don't know, but I see this female figure represented by the Queen of Wands, and I see aggression, and I see critical energy, jealous energy, bossy energy. Um, so this is almost like an emotional collapse or something. That's kind of what I see here. Like I don't want to do it anymore. Like I'm out, like that. It's like not like, well, maybe it'll be I'll talk to her and we'll work it out, or I'll talk to her next week, or we're gonna go on a date and we'll fix everything, or I'll take her out of town, or we'll go to this hotel, we'll go to this resort, or we'll go to this tennis match or whatever it is, and we'll work it out. That's what this would be. This would be, we can work it out. It's not a card of like hope, but it's a card of like you're going to keep pushing. Um, I don't know if I'm interpreting that wrong, um, because this almost is like, anyway. I feel like he doesn't want the relationship or something. He doesn't want the relationship. He's not happy, um, and maybe he's gonna leave. Um, that's kind of what I see here. Maybe he's gonna leave. Like he's not happy. He's angry. His energy's all pent up and disordered. He's got a bossy, needy girlfriend, jealous girlfriend, critical girlfriend, and his environment is not really withstanding it. It's collapsing. Um, so I'm trying to rectify this with the position it's in, the environment that he's in, this house. Um, but someone's like out of power. Like I just see someone that doesn't have the power anymore. I'm wondering if it's him. I do wonder if it's him. This is like, and it's kind of relevant to his girlfriend, I think. But I see he's out of power. He doesn't have power, and he doesn't feel like he can fight in some way. Like this is kind of like I don't want to fight. Like I don't want to fight, and I'm tired of you talking to me like that, and I need a break. It's kind of like this is like a capitulation. This is, um, like walking away or something. This is like walking away, like or like don't call me for a while, that kind of thing. This doesn't indicate a breakup, and in fact, I mean, this could be capitulation in the other way. So that's kind of what I was confused about. Um, it could be capitulation, as in I give up. I'm not going to fight anymore, so I'm going to stay with you, and I'll deal with your crap. Um, it could be that. It could be a capitulation, as in I'll give in to your demands, or it could be a capitulation, as in I'm not going to try to make this work. I'm out of here. Because typically to leave takes a lot of strength too, and this card isn't a card of strength. So like a card of weakness would indicate if you're in a relationship where you're not the dominant person, you're not the bossy person. This indicates like you're going to go along with it, even if you don't like it. You're going to go along with it. You're just going to go. You're going to drag your feet and go. So I'm not sure. So I'm not. But this is like a lack of power. Typically, a person with a lack of power in the context of a relationship where the other person is bossy, they're going to kind of do what they want. They're going to do the weak person will do what the strong person wants. Um, I don't know if this means he's weak. You know, um, but it's like there's some sort of mental strength here. I may be reading too much into the relationship aspect of this, because this could just be mental strength, in general, but I see it adjacent to that grill card there, so it makes me think otherwise. But this is like a lack of strength. This is a lack of perseverance. This is like a give up. This is like a extreme weariness that goes to your core. That is like, um, okay. I think I've talked enough about this card, so we're gonna move on. But he's weakened. His power is not there. He's out of his power, as we can see with that chariot reversed. So in the hopes, fears, and opportunities. So we have the Emperor reversed. This is like not being in your power again. So yeah. So we have the Chariot reversed, the Knight of Wands reversed, and now we have this, the Emperor reversed. All these cards are kind of indicating a lack of strength, a lack of direction, a lack of control, a certain level of aggression or disorder or anger, some sort of hostility, a weariness, and this is like a lack of. This is definitely a lack of control, or it could be indicate you being under the control of someone else. It could indicate that as well. Like this is basically like you're not the boss. You don't feel like the boss, and you feel weak and powerless, which is really interesting because you wouldn't think that of him. That's why I mean it's kind of tricky this reading. Um, um, so it doesn't necessarily have to be his girlfriend. This could be a director or somebody he's working for, a producer, maybe his agent. Um, but this is like he's working for somebody or he's under somebody's thumb. This could be that organization that I referred to you, that I talked to you before about. It is in regards to the hermit card that is in the crowning position. That hermit card can indicate like some sort of hidden power. But this is in any case he doesn't feel in control. He doesn't feel he's uh, he's direct calling the shots, and he may even feel like he's being like you know dominated or um, like he's not withstanding the demands or the pressure or the stress of uh, what people require of him. And this could be work related, not like I said, not just his girlfriend. Um, this could be a director, a producer, his agents, anybody really, or even studio executives. Um, um, but this is like lack of power here. And in the crowning card, this is the result of this is the outcome card for the spread. It is a Two of Cups reversed. So this is like a breakup. Um, this is like, this is like disharmony, discord, dislike. This is, I don't want to, whatever it is, I don't want to work with you anymore. I don't want to date you anymore. Um, this is like, I don't want to, it could be anything, like we're saying here. This could be a personal relationship or it could be a business type situation. And, I'm seeing that Ace of Swords reversed, which means, revise. It's, swords typically are involved in legal documents, legal action. Um, but it could just mean communication in general. But it's a sharp communication, a direct communication. Um, it's a communication of revision, change, adjustment, criticism. So what I'm seeing here is he's not happy. He's not in control. He feels excluded and alone. Um, as we indicated with the Hermit card and the Three of Cups reversed, we have the Three of Swords reversed, we have the Ace of Pentacles reversed, Ace of Swords reversed, we have this critical female represented by the Queen of Wands reversed, critical, jealous female, and then we have these cards of like disorder, dominance, weariness. This could just be a bad day on the set. It could be that. And in any case, none of this is terminal. None of this means this is just the general energy that I'm picking up right now. And maybe in the future, I should be more specific about what time period we're looking at here. Like I would do for a personal reading, I would do like one for a week, or I do one for a month, or um, in this case, I didn't ask an actual date or a time period. I just for now. So to be honest with you, this could just be indicated day. It could be today, but I think in a general energy, you can generally assume it's within a month. Generally speaking, without having to specify, it's generally the energy is within a month, from a week to a month. Um, and so it looks like if he has a girlfriend, he's breaking up with her. Um, uh, that's kind of what I'm getting here. I feel like he feels like he's missing out on something with the Ace of Pentacles reversed. It's like he's missing out. And when I see that three of the Three of Cups reversed. Like he's missing out. He feels like he's missing out. He's being excluded. This maybe there's some he wants to do things and he doesn't want to bring his girlfriend. It's kind of what could be here. Like being with his girlfriend makes him feel alone because it's not really where he wants to be. Um, this could be about his girlfriend, but this could be about his, whatever film he's working on right now, whatever contract he just initiated, that he's whatever job he's doing. It could be a job. So this could be, but he feels out of control, aggressive, maybe frustrated. He feels like he's not in control. And he feels weary, and he feels alone, and he feels excluded, and so he's in a situation he doesn't really want to be in. And when I see the Ace of Swords reversed and the Ace of Pentacles reversed, he's like he feels like he's missing out. He feels like he's missing out, and he wants to change things. He wants to go back and change things, and he wants to, um, yeah, I think he wants to break up. He wants to break up with a girlfriend, or that's kind of what I'm getting here. He wants to break up with a girlfriend because he feels like he's missing out. So, because I don't know why you'd get that for a job, like as far as like Three of Cups reversed. Why would that's not a job. I mean, it could be a job, but when he's on a set, he's the boss. I mean, he's no wait no, because we've heard right that he's got an attitude, right? We heard he's like kind of a diva on set. We have heard that, like people have said, like don't look at him, like Timmy says you can't look at him in the face or look at him in the eye. So this could be on the set. This could be work related. That Three of Cups could be the crew. That could be the crew. It could be everyone on set going, dude, this guy's fucking creepy, man. Why can't we look at his face when he talks? Why can't we interact with him like a normal human being? Why are we being forced to treat this guy like a king or some sort of god or something? So he's he's aware of that. That would be the Nine of the Hermit card. He's aware that he's by himself. He's aware people don't like him. He's out in the cold. But he's got his backers somewhere else. Then you're not going to argue with them. But he's doesn't feel in control. And he this is like a not a pleasant reading for him. But this is like breakup. This is like a breakup, or it could be a personal breakup with a romantic thing, or it could be, um, you know, not necessarily a breakup or a separation, but it's a disharmony. He has disharmony. He's not getting along with people. People don't like him. He doesn't like them. It's like this mutual dislike. Um, um, So yeah, this very much could be him acting on the set, acting out, acting like a diva, you know, um, and you know what, in this Nine of Wands here can very much be the people on the set. If he's working on a set, this is like people going, dude, I've had enough of this guy. He's like bringing us down. Um, yeah, and I see that. When I see that Chariot reverse, it's like he's like not cooperating. He's not operating like a normal professional would. He's like kind of being disruptive in some way. But this is an energy of what I'm seeing is an energy of disharmony, and initially I'm thinking, I thought maybe he's the victim or something, but I don't see that. I think it's obviously this is a general reading, so we're seeing this we can read into a lot of different facets with this one reading, and I see it's in work and I see it in love life. There's a disruptive energy. Like he's going to want to break up with his girlfriend, and he's not getting along with people at work. That's kind of clearly what I'm seeing here, and I'm seeing he kind of has like an antisocial energy with that Hermit card and the Three of Swords reversed. I mean, and the Chariot reversed. So this is a very disordered energy. This is a hostile energy. It's not a harmonic energy. This is an argumentative, disruptive, chaotic, um, you know, inhospitable, unwelcome energy. That's what I see here. I see, he doesn't need you because he's got his money, he's got his people. Like, I don't need to be nice to you. What are you to me? What can you do for me? What are you going to do if I don't treat you rudely? You can't do anything to me. What are you going to do? You're going to complain to the director? What is he going to do? Kind of diva stuff. Like, I'm Timmy Chalamet, and I'm a diva, and you can't look me in my face because otherwise I'll get you fired, or whatever it is that he does. Or, um, it's kind of like when people are like, I only want green M&Ms, and so like, yeah, they have servants, pick out all the other colors of M&Ms, so you don't have to dig through the bowl of M&Ms to find the green. So it's like really just this petulant. That's what I'm getting here. This petulant energy of, um, it's like impunity. Is what I'm getting here actually, as I look into this. So not a great energy. But anyway, this is a general read on him. These are just my opinions. I don't know anything. It's just entertainment. This is my interpretation of these cards. I'm doing my best, but it's just my interpretation. It's just my opinion. It has no meaning beyond that. But I think in this case, in my opinion, that I wouldn't want to be around him right now. That's kind of what I'm getting, and that's what I got. So thank you all very much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this reading. And I will have more readings in the future very, very soon, hopefully. And I hope you all stay well, and I will see you all soon.